This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com/psychetruth.
Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be working on the lovely Lauren. We're going to be doing a massage for the upper back and shoulders. Let's go ahead and get started. If you don't have time to watch this video right now, go ahead and save to your watch later and just watch whenever you get a chance. I'm going to start this massage with some myofascial work. That's really good for the connective tissue. And this isn't to be confused with working on the muscle fiber. It's a totally different approach and feeling for both you and your client. So I like to just place my hands to start, and you do need to do this with very little oil, or ideally no oil. I'm just going to let the heel of my hands catch the skin. It's that feeling of like just catching the skin. And if you're wondering if you're going too fast, you probably are. So just slow it way down. Always with this kind of work, it's really important that you communicate what you're doing to your client, because this can kind of feel like a waste of time to some people. It's absolutely not. It can actually be really healing. I got really into myofascial work after I was in a car accident and had work done myself. And this is one of the things that helped my neck heal more than anything. And the fun thing about this kind of work is you can get creative, and it's really good to stretch this connective tissue from different angles in different ways. You can go way slower than I'm going. This is really like as fast as you would want to go doing this kind of work. I'm making sure to work above the scapula, above these shoulder bones. And this is kind of the perfect area for doing myofascial work because there's a lot of surface area to work with. It's a lot more challenging when you try doing this kind of work like in the pectorals or places like that. If you feel too like slidey and less grippy, then you're not going to be doing this as effectively. But even if you do feel like you're sliding a little more than you want to, it's still really good work for the connective tissue. I'm not going to spend a whole lot more time doing this, but I want to do the same thing on this opposite side. You don't have to worry about you're not pressing down on the spine, so you can even start that motion on the other side of the spine if you want. Just one more pass. I find that this area in between the shoulder blades benefits immensely from this kind of work. I'm going to bring it all the way down above the lats. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking about how I can start transitioning into the bulk of the massage without it feeling choppy. So you may not know it, but the therapist that works on you is like kind of constantly navigating how to stay in flow and stay focused. And I'm just going to simply move into a stretch for the spine, and I'm going to continue with some connective tissue work, but I'm going to start working towards the upper back, and this is really great for spinal health. So I'm just going to drag my hands up, back down. I'm going to start inching my way up the spine and just getting that catching feeling, but using my fingers more. This does require a good bit of patience if it's done effectively. And just inching my way up towards upper back. And just nice and slow, kind of finishing with that myofascial work. I'm going to grab my oil. Even when I'm doing a more focused massage, like an upper back massage, I like to include just some long, broad effleurage strokes for the whole back. And trying not to get oil in Lauren's hair. Really good to work on these erector spinae muscles for the health of the upper back. My favorite effleurage stroke for this full back area is soft fist. It feels way more satisfying to finish that effleurage stroke over the hip bones without pressing down on any bony structures. So just passing over that iliac crest a little bit, way more satisfying than stopping short of it. But typically I would be working on someone that's draped, and just have to make sure your client's comfortable with that. And the thumb is just a great little sensor. So I like to just kind of trace these around these scapulas and see what's going on in the upper back. And I'm going to go ahead and just walk myself over to this opposite side, and I'm going to land on these erector spinae and just working my way up towards the shoulders. I'm not really just pressing down, I'm more pressing in towards the spine. I'm shortening these erector spinae towards the spine. Just stimulating all this muscle tissue in a really healthy way. And working my way around these shoulders. Sometimes I'll work faster, sometimes slower, it just depends. If your client doesn't really have a high pain tolerance and they don't want, to feel uncomfortable, you want to usually use more surface area. So really, I always begin with my full forearm, just tracing around that scapula, finding all kinds of trigger points in here. No matter who it is you're working on, you're going to find a lot of trigger points. This is the highest area of tension in the body. And normally I would continue with the sequence on this side, but it's going to be hard for you guys to see. So I'm going to go ahead and do this next part on this opposite side. And it's a really good idea to work on this deltoid and this bicep tendon when you're focused on the shoulders. I'll grab a little more oil. So normally I would have done this on the opposite side just to finish that routine over there. It's really good to focus on this deltoid whenever anybody has shoulder pain or just a stiff feeling in their shoulders, upper back. Just really kneading this muscle tissue. And I'm going to go ahead and work on this bicep tendon. And I'm going to start by just doing some compressive circles down this arm. Using the whole surface area of my thumb. And if you do some good work in this bicep tendon, the whole shoulder can feel more open. I'm just resting my thumb on top of that tendon and allowing this motion of the arm to do the work for me. A really good thing to include with this technique is work in the infraspinatus and the other rotator cuff muscles. And you don't have to feel like super flowy when you're doing something more not clinical, but more focused. Just working intuitively and staying here as long as you need to. Just making sure that my thumb is doing okay as I work. And I'm just going to end with some kneading of all that tissue in here. And I'm going to go ahead and finish with just some long, luxurious effleurage strokes to finish. Just ending with something that feels really soothing and predictable. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's video, you should check out our Patreon page, where you'll find some really great content as well. I look forward to seeing you there.